Okay, we are on the other side of 51. And so we had ways to display data. We had a stem and leaf plot, and now we're going to do a histogram. And I should have given you a little piece of graph paper to use for this note. So you're going to, I'm going to use tape, but you're going to glue it in right here. And we're going to write on it. And then you'll have a sample. I'm going to put that over here in the corner. So I'm going to steal some data from something. First of all, a histogram is basically a bar graph. It looks like a bar graph. The thing that's special about it is that there are no spaces between the bars, and that the data on the x-axis is always clumped into ranges. Or sometimes we call them increments. Okay. So, and a bar graph is always showing frequency or the number of something that happened. So the number of whatever's in that particular range. So let's say that we're looking at the number of apps on a smartphone, and we are going to ask some people, how many apps do you have on your smartphone? So we need a label, a title, and that doggone tape, that's why you're going to glue it. And we're going to make our x-axis down here is going to be ranges. So this is going to be the number of apps that people have on the x-axis. And let's say that for our first group, this is going to be, they have 0 to 10 apps. They have 11 to 20 apps, 21 to 30, 31 to 40, 41 to 50. We'll stop there. Okay, so see how these are ranges or increments, and every single one of them is the same size. So that's something to pay attention to. So they all cover 10-year spaces. Okay, the y-axis then is going to be our frequency. So this is going to be the number of people that had that many apps. And often you're going to have a scale that goes, that doesn't count by ones just because the numbers might be big. So let's do our scale counting by 2. And again, all the increments on your scale need to be the same size. If you start off counting by 2s, you have to count off by 2s all the way up. You can't just switch it based on what numbers you have. Okay, so now I'm just going to make up some data. Obviously, normally we use real data that actually exists in the world. But let's say oh, not 55, sorry. All right, so first thing we need to do is figure out, kind of like when we do a stem and leaf plot, what stems or what categories are going in. So if I look at my 0 to 10, how many people had 0 to 10 apps on their phone? I had one person who had 10, somebody had 7. Everybody else was more than that. So I am going to, on my frequency, write that, fill in the bar that 2 people are in this category. 2 people had that many apps on their phone. All right, cross them out so I know I use them. Next one, let's see, from 11 to 20, I have 12, 13, 18, 15, 18. So I have 4 people in that range that have that number of apps on their phone. Again, remember there's no spaces between the bars. So when I said that, this is what I meant, that they butt right up against each other. And we do that partially because the ranges right here go right into one another. So the data is continuous. There aren't gaps. It's not like red, blue, yellow, green, where they're totally separate things. So I had 4 there. In my 20, let's see, I have 25, 25, 24, 24. So looks like I have 1, 2, 3, 4 there as well. 4 people in this range. Oh, and you know what? 30 should count as well. And I have 1, 2, 30. So actually, I have 6 in that range. Good catch, Miss Funk. One thing that can be confusing is we're dealing with numbers and numbers of numbers. And so it's really helpful to have your axes labeled first, so it gives you a place to ground your thinking. All right, in the 30s, I have 32, 36. I think that's it, so just 2 in that range. I don't have a 40. Oh, I do have a 40 on the nose. I missed it again. So I actually need to have 3 in this range. All right, and then in my 40 to 50, I have 46, 45, 42, 50. So 4 in that range. So now this enables me to answer questions like, how many people had less than 10 apps on their phone? 2. How many people were surveyed altogether? Well, I can say 2 plus 4 is 6, plus 6 is 12, plus 5 is 17, plus 4 is 21. Let's see if that's the right number of values. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Ruh-roh, spaghettios. Do I have the right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Did I add wrong? 4 plus 3, is 17, is 7. Plus 6 is 13. 13 plus 4 is 17. 17 plus 2 is 19. Oh, for goodness sake. Okay, I'm going to blame this on the decongestant. We can say how many people had more than 30 apps on their phone. And there's 3 in this column and 4 in this column. So 7 people had more than 30 apps. So this, again, is a histogram. It is a bar graph where the x-axis is always in increments or ranges, where the y-axis is always measuring the number of something, the number of people that fit in that range, or the number of objects that fit in that category. And we make sure there are no spaces in between the bars. Trickiest part of a histogram is choosing the ranges if they're not already given to you, and numbering the scale if that's not already given to you. So hopefully that now you feel good about histograms.